Hey everyone, this is Raina with Purpose and Passion. I'm so excited to have Miss Morgan Hardman here. Oh my goodness. So, she's a wife, a mother of three, business owner, and soon to be author of Hidden Scars. You can follow her on social media on IG, Morgan Hardman. I'm really excited that you're here.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Of course.
So, one thing I talk to my viewers about is about educating, empowering, and inspiring. And I thought about you.
Mm,
You know what I
Thank you.
mean? I want you to take us through the journey from childhood, from young adulthood to love and hip hop, I believe, right? Uh
Yeah.
huh. Because you have a powerful story behind that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
hmm
And then also how you started your business. I think it was in the the beauty, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Beauty
When I got
industry.
into the medical field,
Yes, the
yes.
medical field, yes.
Yes.
And then
Cosmetic.
doing what you're doing now, helping
hmm
families,
Yeah.
helping families and being an awesome mom
Thank you.
and a wife
hmm
and living in that beautiful home that I love
I'm
looking
actually
at.
selling it.
Oh my gosh. So if you're selling that beautiful home, that means you're
Going
upgrading to
bigger.
something bigger.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Moving on up.
Well, welcome, Morgan.
Thank you so much. I totally appreciate you and your leadership and just how you're a servant leader and
Oh,
you pour
thank
into
you.
so many women. I'll never forget the call that you put me on to
Yes.
inspire women,
Yes,
so
yes,
I'm thankful
yes.
to you as well. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
well, you know what? I'm all about connecting people.
Mm,
And I believe that connecting people is a gift because not
yeah,
everybody has that gift.
right.
So the people that do have the gift to connect others
hmm
is a truly, for me, a God's gift.
Yeah, I agree.
Definitely.
I
So
agree.
take us through the
I'm a
journey.
connector too.
Yes, you are. You're definitely a connector and a woman of God. And that's
Yes,
why we vibe a lot. You
yes,
know
for
what I mean?
sure, for
A woman
sure.
of God.
Yeah.
So take us through the journey of, where were you born and raised and moms and pops, how they met? How were you created? There you go.
Well, that just dives right into it. Then, if you want to know how I was created, what can I and can I say on this? That's kind of
Yeah.
that's it's a unique story. So I was born in Santa Monica, California.
Okay.
I was actually born in a house because my mom was addicted to heroin at the time.
Yes.
And so I was a drug baby. So she could not deliver me in a hospital. She had to deliver at home. Ended up getting taken at 6 months and was in the system ever since. So it
Wow.
was definitely in the system since I was 6 months. And then it was childhood was a journey. My
Yes.
actual book is based off of my childhood, my
Yes.
entire childhood. A lot of trauma, a lot of verbal, sexual, mental abuse. I grew up in group homes and foster homes. So it's a
Yeah.
challenging situation, but I overcame it. So
Yes.
I'm a victor, not a victim.
Yes,
You
and that's
know?
and that's the powerful story about your life. You're here,
Yes.
and most people will count you out as saying that you would have been, an at-risk youth or been in prison or been addicted to drugs, on welfare. People count people out that
Yeah.
have been through
I mean, I
some.
was on welfare, and
Yeah.
my writer of my book, because a lot of people don't know that I can't read or write, but it didn't. I mean, I can write, but I can't read or spell.
Yes,
But that didn't stop me from
that's right.
becoming great.
That's right.
Period. I was able to get by. Siri, you're the realest.
Shout out to Series.
Seriously, because I speak in my phone and it doesn't always write what I say, but
Yes.
it writes it for me. My husband's actually been teaching me how to read lately.
That's
So that's
beautiful.
amazing. But when my writer wrote my book, he actually said he was surprised I wasn't a serial killer
And explain that.
because of so much trauma that I had been through. He was so surprised that my brain didn't trigger in a different way. And instead of getting worse, I got better through the traumas.
Ah,
The more
okay.
trauma that came, the better I got. The more
Yes.
I fought, the more that I stood up and I said, I'm not going to be that person.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even, my mom, if you ask how I was conceived, my mom was actually a prostitute. And I don't know if you're familiar with the Hillside Stranglers. They were the hugest
Yes.
serial killers in the state of California. They
Yes.
were killing prostitutes and leaving them on the hillside.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my mom was the reason they started that murder spree. She actually was going to be their first victim, and they couldn't find her. They ended up finding her best friend, Yolanda Washington. They ended up killing her instead of my mother, and then that just started a whole spree of serial killings because
Wow.
of something that she did, and they were humiliated. And so she sold them a trickless, I want to say it was called.
Yes.
And it belonged to her pimp.
Mm-hmm.
And so from what I'm told, her pimp went and humiliated them, took their girls, their women, whatever the case was, and that's why they started their murder spree.
Wow.
So just imagine you being a child and these type of generational curses
Yes.
that you're born into,
Yes.
having no knowledge, and then you're going through life not even knowing what a generational curse is.
Yes.
So you're just operating in a cursed life,
Mm-hmm.
and then other curses are being added on to that. And you know that there's greater out there for you, but you just don't know how to get to it.
Yes.
And what that was for me was my deliverance and when I found God. And so that's how I was able to fully walk in my potential and then no longer carry the burdens of my mother's, my ancestors,
Yes.
my grandmother, the people who we don't even know who they are.
Yeah,
and we're carrying
I agree.
these curses from the things they've done. And so that's why I'm so serious about my walk and what I do in life, because my children will inherit whatever wrong I do
Yes.
to others. You understand what I'm
Yes,
saying?
no, I agree. It's in the
jumps on your
Bible.
children,
Yes.
And so I just operate in that. I operate in, I'm not a vengeance person. I'm not a revenge type of person. I just operate in, you know what? I love you.
Yes.
Good for you. Of course, in the moment, I'm
Yes,
heated.
yes, yeah, of course, because we're
But
human.
when I've settled
We're human.
down, when I settle
Yes.
down and I come back to reality, it's like, you know what? I don't even wish anything bad upon you.
Yeah.
Do your thing, you know?
Yes.
So
how was, elementary, junior high, and high school for you,
as far as the not knowing how to read part, the system just passes you along.
Yes,
It's pretty
yes.
easy to get passed along. All you have to do is act out.
Yeah.
You act out and they just keep switching you to places, So I got good at that. I got good at manipulating the system and I knew how to get transferred out. And so when it would come a time when, even in class, when I had to read, I would act like I didn't have my glasses.
Yes.
Or I would just act out so I get kicked out of the class, and I just continued to get passed along, which is
Yes.
actually not okay.
Yeah, of course not.
It's sad that they really don't pay that much attention to you to understand, wait, this is a pattern.
And sometimes they do, but they still push you through because they're just trying to get their numbers.
Yeah.
They're trying to
So-
get their numbers.
Yeah. In high school, in elementary, I actually went into juvenile system because at the time my mom was heavily on drugs. So my brother and I would terrorize North Hollywood. We would break into every store, every cash register, every grocery store, filling our carts up with groceries to finally the cops ended up saying, we went from, it literally is going from this store to that store.
Yes.
There's a pattern.
Yes.
Tomorrow these kids are going to be at the store
At
on the
this
corner.
store.
How dumb were we? You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Because you guys were children.
So stupid. But honestly, it was a blessing for me because as soon as we got arrested, I felt a sense of relief and peace. And I told the cops, I was like, I don't want to go home. There's, my mom's not there, but she's there.
Yeah.
And I explained to them, she's on drugs. She's an alcoholic. Men are in and out of the house. I don't want to go back. And so
Yes.
that was my breath of fresh air. I was able to
Start all over.
really get into the system. Like I was in group homes and
Yes.
I like structure. So I was told when to go to bed. I was told when to do my homework. I was told when to go to school. And that's just how my brain operated. I needed to be told what to do, when to do it, how to do it.
Yes.
And I actually loved it. I loved being able to
The structure.
wake up and it was time to eat. Then it was time to go to school. Oh, we have lunch now on time. Okay, now we have dinner. We can have a snack. I love that.
Because at home with mom, you didn't have
It
a
was
structure.
chaos. Yeah, it was
Wow.
chaos.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Wow. So how did you get into the industry? How did that happen? Before we get into love and hip hop, you know what I mean?
Well, getting into the industry is actually, my family just kind of knew everybody. We lived in North Hollywood on Otsego, and a lot of people, when they come into LA, and a lot of artists and dancers and celebrities have lived on Otsego in North
Yes.
Hollywood. And so it was just kind of being in the right place at the right time. My brother was kind of connected with everyone, and then I got connected,
Yes.
and I started working for certain celebrities, and then also got into production. So I did set PA work. I did assistant directing work. I did a little bit of everything because I
Yes.
kind of get in where I fit in at the time. And I just like making people's lives easier. So that's kind of how that started. It was just being in the right place
Wow.
at the right time. Yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh. So then how did you get cast to come out in the Love and Hip Hop? How did that happen?
I was actually sitting at dinner. Well, I actually referred someone to do it, and then they wanted me to do it. And I was like, I don't do TV. I don't want to be on TV. I'm good. That's not my thing. And so we were actually at dinner. We were at Mastro's, and the person just liked my personality, and they liked that I just was straightforward, and I didn't take anybody's shit. I don't know if I can say that on here, but
yeah, you can.
I didn't take people's shit, and I was straightforward. If something was on my mind, I'm going to say it, you know, and I'm a firecracker, you know, I was. And so that's kind of what got me casted. Honestly, the real reason I did it was for it to be a platform for my book, which it wasn't. My book was never even talked about on there, you know, and people wanted rights to the book, and I felt like a lot of people had nothing to do with my life before the industry, which my book has absolutely nothing to do with the industry because it's so much bigger than it, you know? And so I just felt like my book had nothing to do with the industry, and I didn't feel anyone deserved rights to it.
I agree, because it's your story.
Period. You didn't go through what I went through. You didn't survive like I did. So
yes, I agree.
You don't own a right to it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, within the show, I remember the negative outcomes, you know what I mean? And as a person, as a viewer looking at the show, people, like for me, like, you know, I'm running for mayor, so I think about social media. I literally like shifted some things on Facebook where people cannot tag me just to tag me, because a lot of people are going to start being ugly.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I know how I am inside where things could probably affect me. So I said to, you know, I started praying, and I was like, God, you have to teach me how to work around this, because I want to be humble and not, I don't want them to feel like they can pull out that old Raina, you know, because it's still there.
Oh, I know.
You know, it's still there. And, you know, after the prayer, the thing was, make things private. No, you know, only close family and friends can tag, and starting to do those things.
And even those people shouldn't be able to tag, because sometimes they be the first ones to come for you.
Yeah. Well, I hope.
I'm just telling you.
Yeah, I hope.
They be the first ones to.
Yeah, I'm like, I hope those individuals, but I'm about to clean up the friend list soon.
Yeah.
And so when I think about myself, I'm like, oh my God, like that show what you've been through could either make a person commit suicide or go to prison.
No, I was on the verge of suicide.
Okay.
That's how I found God.
Yeah. So talk about that journey.
I mean, for me,
through the bullying and everything, that it was just disgusting.
Yeah. So for me, more than anything, I lost my best friend in the midst of that show.
Yes.
Me and a certain person were very close. He was definitely like a real brother to me.
Yes.
So that devastated me in itself. And then not having the right people around you when you get into something like that can be very devastating.
Man.
I wasn't a star, and I don't want to be a star.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't a celebrity, and I don't want to be a celebrity.
Yes.
When people will be like, oh, can you know, I'm your fan. I'm like, no, you're my supporter.
I love
have
that.
nothing
Yes.
for you to be a fan about. Like, don't fan me. Don't idolize anybody, period. The only person you're supposed to idolize is God. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like that. And so I slipped into a depression. I'm one who read all the comments, you know? And because of me being under contract, I couldn't say, no, this is what really happened. Hey, that scene was filmed this day, and then 8 months later, they had me come in and refilm, and then I get fired. You know, like, but I didn't get fired because I didn't even work for the person.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? So you can't tell your side of the story. You just get to see it when it comes out in the edit and the cut.
We only see what we see, but we don't see everything.
Yeah, and so that's devastating in itself, because it's like, I'm one who has always had to defend myself throughout life. Yes. And I was never believed. You know, when I would tell my mom that her drug partners were doing certain things to me, she didn't believe me. I would make my cousin hide in the closet and then pop out when they were trying to do it to me. And then I was believed. Yes. So I'm always one who proves that I'm not lying, you know? Wow. So it was really hard to not be able to do that.
That's a lot of rejection.
Yeah. It was really hard to not be able to do that. So one day I was Skyping my supporters, and just random people, I would let them call in, and a girl was on the verge of suicide. And I was like, how am I gonna even talk to this girl? I'm on the verge of suicide.
Yes.
Like, what are we even talking about right now? How am I gonna, get her out of this? She was, she had been raped by her uncle, and her family was making her spend the holidays with him. I let her come spend the holidays with me. I didn't even know her. I met her on social media.
Wow.
She came and spent Christmas with my family,
Yes.
But I was actually on the verge of suicide. And in that time, 2 people from my church that I now go to now in Florida
Yes.
came on, and they prophesied and prayed over me and told me, listen, I feel from God that you're on the verge of suicide and that you actually want to end your life. And it went from there. I was like, what? Listen, is this a psychic? Like, it was weird. For me, it was weird. And so I ended up giving my life to God. I went to Florida, got a deliverance, and that's been my church home ever since. But it was devastating because I suffered from depression.
Yeah.
And the weirdest thing about TV is they know, because before you can even get on their show, they're doing a deep medical analysis on you.
Wow.
They go into your portfolio, like your doctor stuff. Like, they go into everything. Your psych, they go into everything.
Yes.
And so they already knew that I suffered from depression. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
and they still allowed you to endure what you were enduring.
And I told them straight out, I said, I don't want to go to the reunion. I'm thinking about killing myself. And they were like, oh, nothing's going to happen. We got you. Blah, 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 blah. And it happened. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's just like, how can you tear down another Black woman or another woman, period, like that?
Yeah.
How can you, like, how do you sleep at night?
Yes.
And that's honestly how I feel. But again, I forgive them.
Yes, of course.
I'm thankful.
Of course.
Because I may not have met my husband. I may not have been where I am today had it not been for that show. Now, the person who introduced me to the world and the industry, I'm forever grateful.
Yes.
I'm forever grateful because that person showed me how to believe in myself. That person gave me confidence. Before I met that person, I was a punk.
Yeah.
I was a punk. And I learned how to boss up. I learned how to boss up and stand up for myself.
That's right.
So for that person, I'm very thankful.
Yes.
For the show, not even a little bit.
Yeah. So before your husband, did you own the medical business?
So what happened was I worked for a few different surgery centers. And then I got out of that. And then I opened up my own consultation center, and I had a few doctors working for me. My surgery center actually went under. Again, I was on the verge of suicide during that situation because I had to pay $79,000 back in refunds. I mean, I had people coming at me, calling me a scammer. You're this, you're that. I'm like, wait, no, I'm just trying to get the money to give it back to you.
Yes.
Scammer wouldn't care. I could file Chapter 11 and be done.
Yes.
But I didn't
correct.
do that because I felt like I move in integrity, you
Yes.
know? And so I had to make sure that I paid those people back. And I couldn't sleep. My husband would be like, what's wrong with you? I wouldn't even tell him. I wouldn't even tell him nothing. I'm going to figure it out. He had the money, but that wasn't my money.
I know
get
what you
I'm
mean.
saying?
I know what you mean.
I had to pay them back with my money. And so Shirley, I had got like a lump sum of money, and I paid everyone half of what I owed them.
Yes.
So at least it would stop the comments and the torture and the torment.
Wow.
Because someone who's a scammer is not looking to fix the situation.
First of all, they wouldn't even pay nothing.
First of all, you wouldn't even be able to contact them ever again.
Because that did disappear. Yes.
So I went through that situation, and through the company that I'm in now and what I do now, I was able to pay that back within 3 months. So I was very grateful to that. And actually 3 people that I owed money to who are calling me scammers and all that are in the business with me now. So it's pretty awesome.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's talk about the business and being married, with, you had your son and then your two daughters.
Yeah,
What a
I
true
thought I was
blessing.
done.
Yes.
Yeah. So I actually met my husband through a mutual friend. And he tried to introduce me to the business. But I was just kind of like, oh, I'm good. That's a scam. I'm good.
Yes.
I got my own money.
It's a pyramid.
I got a G-Wagon. Why are you reaching out? I was so mean to him.
Yeah.
We actually did not get along in the beginning at all. I require a lot of attention, and he did not have that time. And so from the beginning, I was like, this isn't going to work. He was like, you're right, it's not, because I can't see you every day. I'm like, well, it's not going to work. He's like, why do you keep saying that? It's not going to work. That's it. We're done. And I was like, well, good. We're done. You know? And then we weren't done. I ended up getting flowers to my office, and I thanked him for it. And then we were literally together every day after that. So like I said, I require a lot of attention, and I got that attention. We got married fairly early. So we met and started dating. We started dating in July. We met a year before that. But we started dating in July and we got married in November.
Okay.
And so many people think we got married because I was pregnant, but I actually was celibate and I was not having sex. And we actually were living together and I was not feeling right about living with him either.
Okay.
We actually, because my house flooded.
Yes.
And so we actually moved in fairly early together. And so we were not intimate. And I felt that in my walk with God, I was going to stand with that. And he was okay with it.
Yes.
But the problem was we were still living together. So that wasn't okay either. So we were laying in bed and we actually were watching Nene Leakes renew her vows.
Oh, yes. Okay.
She's
Yes.
actually the reason we got married.
Wow.
We were watching her renew her vows. God rest her husband's soul.
Yes, of course.
So sad. And then my husband looked over. He's like, "You want to get married?" I was, because really I didn't. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't want to get married. I was like, "I don't know. Do you?" He was like, "I do. You want to?" I was like, "I guess." We had a flight to catch at 10 o'clock, by the way, to go to Florida for church. Because we were back and forth every 2 weeks for church.
Yes.
And he was like, "All right, let's go." So we Googled a place, see if they were open. They were open. I found something white, just threw it on. My son was there. We had one other witness. We got married. The lady was very rude. I mean, she was super rude, like rushing us and everything. Like, girl, this is the rest of our lives. Relax.
Yes.
So we ended up getting married in November, and then he proposed to me on Thanksgiving. So that's what confused everybody.
Okay.
So I was already married.
So married by law, but he was proposing because he wanted a big wedding.
He was proposing because he didn't give me that.
Oh, okay.
He didn't propose in front of people.
Okay.
And I'm nosy, so I went through his text messages. He doesn't think that I knew that I was getting proposed to, but I did. That's why every time he came up to me in the kitchen, I ran the other way because everybody wasn't there that I needed to be there.
Yeah.
Which he'll probably understand now. So I read his text message and he told his mom that he was going to propose on Thanksgiving, but we were already married and she didn't know.
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe I'm getting my ring on Thanksgiving. So, my son is my dog. So
yeah.
He told me because I had to pick out the ring. He thinks he picked it out, but he didn't. And so I was running away from him in the kitchen because I was waiting for one particular person to get there so she can witness it. So we got engaged on Thanksgiving, which was a week after we got married.
Yes.
And then I got pregnant in April.
That makes sense.
So
because
people were like,
in your wedding,
I'm pregnant.
I seen the bump.
Right. So people were like, he married you because you were pregnant.
No, we were married before.
He did my big ass wedding because I was pregnant.
Yes.
But so we ended up getting married July 21st of the following year. And my hip was broken. So that's why I had no shoes on walking down the aisle.
How did your hip get broken?
Christmas. We were skiing and my husband didn't want to take the lessons. And so I was like, I got this. Y'all slow. And I'm like, and I go down the hill and I'm like, wait, how do I stop?
Oh,
and gosh. So I just kind of like threw myself on my side and I broke my left hip. Yeah.
So you had a broken hip at your wedding?
I walked down my wedding barefoot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that's why there's so much confusion. Like, wait, what
happened with the marriage situation?
Yeah. How did that? When did y'all get married? Like July? Okay, but you were pregnant in April.
Yes.
No, we literally thought I couldn't have babies. So it was a miracle that we even had Araya, and then to have Adele and almost died having her. It was like it was nothing but God. Everything was, So they're both amazing blessings to our lives. Araya is every bit of me. Her personality, she's all over the place. She doesn't sit still. She's pew, pew, pew. And then Adele is just like, my
chill. Like, she looked just like her father. No, she resembles you.
Okay, she absolutely does not look like her father.
She resembles you, but I feel like her
complexion. That is it. She's every bit of me.
She resembles you, the features.
So Araya looks just like her dad, but my skin complexion.
Yes.
And then Adele looks just like me, and Alfred's skin complexion.
Well, I'm gonna let you know that this is weird because I'm getting this. You don't have your tubes tied, huh?
No. Okay. I better not be pregnant. I'll kill him.
I'm saying this on camera. But I'm just letting you know that you're gonna have a boy.
Fuck.
So, and when I have those that it's a spiritual thing. Yeah, you're having a son. So just be ready. Just be ready. Yeah.
I can't have any more kids unless I get this certain, because I have a heart condition and I almost died. Literally, I died having Adele. Like they stopped my heart and then I went into labor. So the devastation behind that for me,
was that experience with her.
and the thing is like, I wasn't even worried about Adele or Corey. I was worried about Araya because I'm like, Adele doesn't know me. Corey's grown. Araya would be devastated if like, 4 kids, girl, I'm good. I'm not my mom.
Yeah, it's not
I'm not my mom.
Yeah, it's not your time, but I see a boy.
Well, I'm gonna get my tubes tied just because you said that shit. Because my husband wants me to, but I was like, no, you go get a vasectomy. I went through all this.
Yeah.
My doctor, literally, I'm gonna go up there and tell her you said that. I'm gonna go get a pregnancy test too.
Yeah, I feel it. It might not be today, but I feel it. But you know, children are blessings. They really are. And now that you have this beautiful family, you know what I mean? Like how we say the American dream.
Yeah.
So, you know, now you guys are in business together, you know?
Yeah.
I want to definitely close the show off with that.
Yeah.
You know, a husband and wife, a power couple with this business, you know?
Yeah, and see, my husband went from picking up trash on South Beach to becoming a multimillionaire in 2 years because of the industry of network marketing.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, and when I got in it, I knew nothing about it. And I became very successful in a year.
Yes.
You know, so it's phenomenal. We're changing so many lives. We're breaking generational curses.
Yes.
We're getting people into homes who never even thought they could get into a home.
Yes.
I never thought I would own a home. I didn't even care to own a home. I just wanted to rent a nice house.
Yes.
I didn't understand. I didn't have the education on it.
Yeah.
You know? And so not only are we financially changing lives and helping people, but we're also educating people. We're educating people on credit. We're educating them on finances. You
need credit to
wills, trust, life insurance. All that is so important.
Yes.
And our communities, the Latin and the African American communities, they really are not educated on the importance of it. You know?
We lack that, especially in the Latino community when you tell the man, okay, your wife, you know, you need to get life insurance because you're the breadwinner. That's like, no, I'm not going to get life insurance because I don't want her to spend it on the Sancho. And I'm like, are you serious?
What's the Sancho?
Sancho is the side man. Like once the husband dies, she's going to get a new man. I'm like, oh my God, this is too crazy.
Yeah, but most people think it's putting a curse on their lives. And that's so
But it's not. No. Because life insurance is even for you to build a legacy. It's not even about you passing away and, you know, leaving a legacy. It's also about you having the legacy while you're alive, you know, with permanent insurance. But you know what's so cool is that when I see you and your husband together in your home, opening your home to your business partners. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is what touches my heart.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people can build a business, be multimillionaire, and you will never be allowed to their home.
You see, and sometimes it's tricky though. We're kind of learning that we do need to be a little more, have a location for that because I now understand why people do that though. You know, because when you get to the top, there's more problems. You know, there's more people out trying to figure out a scheme and a scam to try and get to take you down. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Not that we experience that in that, you know, capacity.
Yeah.
But we've seen other people go through it. And so now for us, it's kind of more like, okay, well, if you're not a top leader, you know, you don't really need to be at the house or just imagine us meeting someone and just them coming to the house and we're teaching them the business. That, they shouldn't have access to that. And I actually just told my husband the other day, I said, take your number off of social media. I said, do you think Grant Cardone has his number on social media where anyone can just get a hold of him? Absolutely not. I'm like, do you think people that are multimillionaires just have their number on social media? Absolutely not.
For direct contact.
You know, no, they need to reach out to the assistant.
Yeah.
But my husband's just so humble and will never forget where he came from that he tends to forget where he is at.
Yes.
You know, and you do have to protect it just a little more when you are at the top. But at the end of the day, we don't act like we're there either, though. You know, we're very humble.
No, it's super humble.
Yeah, we're super humble. Like you see, we walk around.
I like. Yeah, I know. That's what I said. I see you with your chanclas,
Like,
the slip-ons, the chanclas.
Get in the car, listen, I'll tell you off camera, but we chill. We're chilling. We want to touch as many lives as we can, spiritually, financially, emotionally. For me, my mission is to help as many women as I can heal.
Yes.
And love again and be happy. Not the happy that we have to put on as women, that smile that we have to wear, but to really wear that smile. That's my ultimate goal.
So let's move on to Hidden Scars. When is your book coming out?
I'm actually going to put it out in the next 30 days. To be very honest with you,
Wow.
I couldn't not add my daughter in there, my
Okay.
new daughter. I didn't want her to not be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I didn't put it out. And then also my husband hadn't read it.
Okay.
He'd been so busy that he didn't read my book, and he finally finished it last night. So
wow. So the
yeah.
book is coming out in 30 days.
In about 30 days, maybe less.
I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, I am too, because it honestly, it should have been out, because
Yes.
I have a part 2.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I just didn't want my daughter not to be in it. I wanted, and that was a crazy experience in itself. So
Yes.
that's definitely a chapter that has to be added.
Yes, being giving birth. Yes.
I wasn't even supposed to be able to have kids anymore. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yes. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Morgan, for
Thank you.
sharing your story.
I appreciate you.
It's powerful to me because, it's inspiring. It's uplifting. You went through some hell, but look at where you're at now.
I'm still standing.
Still standing and truly blessed with your health, self, family, spirituality, and more.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to leave the viewers?
Never give up. I don't care where you come from. Don't believe you're a statistic. You can come out of anything, because I'm supposed to be a statistic. And God has truly blessed me, not only me, but even my husband. We're both statistics.
Yes.
And we're going to continue to bless as many people as we can.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing.
Absolutely.
You look stunning today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, viewers, I hope you got inspired, empowered, educated. She definitely taught some awareness. You guys have a blessed day and enjoy your journey. Until then, stay tuned to the next week. Bye.
Glutathione is a big word. It's the body's own master antioxidant. It's a scavenger for free radical, bacteria, and viruses. There are no products in the market with the ingredient NASET. NASET increases the production of glutathione that's in our body already to strengthen and enhance our immune system, elevate sense of well-being, support muscle strength and endurance, cognitive function, and liver support. It helps with increased energy and blood sugar regulation. Get your bottle of GSH Plus from www.salvationnutra.com.